What is up, guys? It's the PlayStation Pichu bringing you episode 11 of Let's Play Spyro the Reignited Dragon. In this episode, we'll be heading through Night Flight. And, this is going to be a very long episode. It's certainly gonna be longer than when I did Sunny Flight because I failed a lot. And if my estimates are correct, minus the pausing moments, the moments where I pause, which will hopefully be cut out in this episode. Well, I already cut them out, but this should be a 15-minute video. So, just so no one gets bored, I brought along Patapon Creeper.
Hello everyone of YouTube, to the kind of person who hasn't known forever, I'm Spyro Creeper. Joining my good friend PlayStation Pichu in Spyro once again.
And funny thing is, this video would have been uploaded earlier, like last night, but the problem was, every time I cut out segments and tried to save my project when I cut out the pause moments where I paused, it kept crashing on me, like the window would just close down. It just would, and the video progress would be lost, and I would have to cut out those parts all over again. And then, in an attempt to remedy this, I decided to cut things out and do commentary before saving, and right when I clicked the done button on Roxio Video Wave, which is what I use to edit my videos, by the way, it crashed, and that meant I would have to cut the videos, and me and PC would have to do the commentary all over again. It really got me mad, and I was just like, you know what, forget it. I'm not dealing with this anymore, and I just canceled and went to sleep. But I recently tried cutting it about a little while ago and saved the project, and thankfully it didn't crash. So hopefully we'll be able to do the commentary, I can export this, and we'll all be good.
Yep.
So what about Night Flight itself? Well, I can certainly say that I'm probably going to call it the hardest flight minigame in the game. Wait, that
actually, a lot of the flights at this point on where it get this difficult in the first game, then they just become easier with Spyro 2 and 3. But nonetheless, I prefer challenging my games anyways. This helps you get the hang of flight levels anyways, how difficult they can be with the sharp turns and stuff. Plus the flight levels can be beautiful, which are fun to go back into after completing, and just as to have unlimited time to just explore and look around, you know?
Yeah, that is true. And besides, I really do like the little crystal areas in the flight minigames. It kind of makes sense in the context of the game itself, because in the game you're hunting for gems, and crystals are essentially giant gems.
Yeah.
So in this stage, you have to go through 8 rings, destroy 8 chests, go through 8 gates, and light 8 lighthouses. The lighthouses are exclusive to Night Flight, and this is where we first see the rings. We'll see rings in the next flight minigame, which I have recorded, by the way.
Yeah, rings are a very big one in most of the flight levels. They're always the best ones to start with, because they're easy and they only add 1 second each. Because they only take 1 second to get to the next.
Also, if you notice any abrupt cuts, like the pause menu appearing for a split second or something, that's because I had to pause the game a few times. Because funny thing is, while I was playing this level, I ended up laying next or sitting or whatever next to my dog, and she's a service dog for my autism, and she's meant to nudge at my arm if I get mad. But that behavior here of nudging my arm to get my attention carries over even when she isn't doing her job. So like, you could be petting her, then when you stop, she'll nudge at your arm trying to get you to pet her more. And or your arm could be extremely close to her face and she'll nudge at you the same way. It can get annoying sometimes and a little distracting. But there is one moment where my mom came home from work early, and she wanted me to get ready for me to go over to the farmhouse to clean it because I moved out of it, but no one bought it yet. So I had to pause. So the game was paused for like over a minute. Yes, and if my estimates are correct, I had that game paused during that time for a minute and a half. Yes, I said 1 minute and a half because of what happened.
I've seen in moments like that before, like when Jacksepticeye's first gameplay video on Undertale happened. He had to pause, he had to stop playing the game for a minute because he had to go to the bathroom, and he literally left it sitting there for a minute, literally, and his editor for some reason didn't cut it out. And he thought that was funny how his editor didn't cut that out, because he mentioned it in the second video how it wasn't even cut out, and he didn't even know until after it was uploaded.
His audience must have been bored just seeing Fritz just stand there with Jacksepticeye not at the computer for like a full minute or two.
Yeah, it made some people laugh, including myself. I'm just sitting there thinking, oh god, please cut the video. Oh no, they didn't cut it. And I just sit there waiting, but laughing a few times as it just keeps going. Just hearing the beautiful music of Undertale.
Well,
one of the great things about Undertale is the soundtrack.
Well, if I kept that pause menu in, you wouldn't hear any music, so you wouldn't have heard this awesome Nightlight music. It would have just been dead silence.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Spyro games. You pause the game and the music pauses. I guess it just helps so that people don't miss some parts of the music. But at the same time, why not make a pause menu music, you know? Some games have that, where it just switches the audio from the normal game audio to the pause menu music.
I don't mind that too much. I play tons of games that have dead silent pause menus. Sonic Heroes, Crash.
Same here. I miss the days when the pause menus actually had music.
Wait,
a
that.
nice way to music now.
Hold on. Say, there were games like Super Mario Bros. On the NES and Sonic the Hedgehog on the Genesis, where if you paused the game, it was dead silent. No pause menu.
Yeah, mostly because they didn't have pause menus, so they just froze the game, really.
But in that sense, it wasn't actually frozen. Thank God.
Yeah, it wasn't actually frozen, unless you left it sitting there for an hour or two. Then you would have ruined your TVs. The joys of the difficult stuff with older consoles and stuff. Mouse wheel balls and stuff like that. And then there's like the old-fashioned connections with that connected to both phone and internet at the same cord and cut you out if the phone rang. Those days were difficult, but we're glad they got extinct.
Yeah, dial-up was a thing.
YouTube made the top 10 videos of top 10 things we will never miss and are glad are extinct from making games difficult. Because could you imagine first-person shooters with the mouse wheel ball getting all cooked up with dust, and then there would be that little hump of movement?
Oh yeah.
Glad everything's now on a laser. It's just like the sharks with laser beams on their heads from Austin Powers.
Also, before I forget, you may notice that there will be moments in my in this level where I am one item away from completing the whole flight minigame, only for me to completely overlook it, and by the time I get everything else, it will be too late. That just happened last session.
They only give you enough time to just barely get everything. You have to try to figure out a certain pattern. Some flight levels, very few of them, like work when you do it in the exact order that they come up in the icons, but most of them you have to go out of order in a specific way in order to make up for the time. Otherwise, you're not gonna make it. Especially if you mess up and miss one by turning too lightly or something like that, or you basically completely pass it, and that can ruin the time big time.
Ha! Good one.
I had that happen many times with the Reignited trilogy's new difficulty of being harder than the original games, so it's happened like many times while playing through. I still had my fun, but I did get frustrated a bit, but I knew it was all in good fun. So I couldn't stay too mad at my childhood hero.
Who can't stay mad at their, hold on. Who can stay mad at their favorite childhood games?
Exactly. Like, I may have been frustrated when I first played these games back when I was little, because obviously I was doing games and it was extremely difficult for me, and I will admit I was quite the screamer as a kid to the point I'd throw the controller.
Let's not go into that.
In the end, yeah. But in the end, I learned to respect the games, try again, and just keep going until I get it. Frustration doesn't really do much.
And believe me, this level for me is a massive case of trial and error.
Oh, really? Wait till you get to the Dino Egg Challenge in Spyro 2.
Yeah, spoiler alert!
Not really much of a spoiler, but more of a warning with how difficult it is. People thought the Box the Yeti challenge was difficult. Try the Dino Egg challenge in Skilo's Badlands. Oh boy, I am dreading how difficult it'll be now.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Trust me, I still get frustrated with the double Dino Egg challenges. Mainly because I can't seem to memorize the pattern. I don't really take the time to memorize them because they frustrate the living heck out of me to the point I need to take constant breaks from the game whenever I hit those dynamic challenges during my completion runs. And I mostly never return to them until the next time I play a Spyro save file.
Also, that session just now that I had, that was the part where the game was paused for 1.5 minutes. And I cut that out so you guys wouldn't have to wait that long, and so we wouldn't have to come up with something ridiculous to say while it was paused.
Yeah.
But, spoiler alert, even if that was still in my video, it would not compare to how long it took me to complete Treetops. I have the gameplay for it, and it took me 40. Yes, I said 40 minutes just to get up to that one little platform towards the northwest and save that dragon and get the green and red leaves that stole gems instead of a dragon. Oh, wait, spoilers.
Oh yes, Treetops can be a pain for everybody's first time. I remember how long it took me to beat that one. Oh boy. Your record's nothing compared to how long it took me when I first played. Dear Lord. All those times of screaming and frustrating and throwing the controller until it actually cracks open. Like frick. I took forever with that one the first time I ever played. Back when I was 5. Nowadays, I just remember, okay, gotta make sure to follow the 2 thieves from the start. Just to be able to get through it all. And if I miss one of the thieves or lose track of them, well, I just collect the rest of the gems and then I exit the level, come back in and see the thieves that I need to chase. And follow the ones I need to chase down. And I have to stay close to them, otherwise I may lose the pattern.
Actually,
But
I lost track of these in my gameplay, but I still managed to reach them regardless.
yeah, it can be hard to figure out the patterns of the tracks, but I do remember one thing that can help. One of the tracks you have to go across backwards.
Yeah, I noticed that. But, yeah, that's enough for now. Next time, we're going to take on the evil Dr. Shemp.